What's your perception of sales? Is it the used car sales guy? If you're like most entrepreneurs, you're probably uncomfortable because of your perception that that's what you have to do to sell your stuff. This video is all about how to sell your stuff without doing that so you can feel comfortable closing your next order. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button and the bell so that you're notified every time I publish a video on how to master your sales skills and close more orders to grow your business. I've used this sales method to close many orders for many businesses. As a matter of fact, I'm so confident that I co-authored a book, Sales Made Easy for Entrepreneurs. It's available on Amazon, and the methods that we go through and that we talk about in our videos are all outlined in that book. So feel free to read it if you feel like it. And taking the approach that we outline in the book can double your revenue in 90 days. So what's your experience with sales? Is it this guy right here? You know, the used car sales guy. I know most of us, our experience with sales is as we buy something in a retail store or we're going shopping for the used car. And we have this perception, and it's been in movies. Think about it as you see it in movies all the time, of this guy coming up to you and he's ready to sell you something. And you're not ready to buy. What do you feel like when that happens? Do you feel like he's convincing you against your will? Is that the perception? Is that what it feels like? Is he talking and talking and talking and talking and won't take no for an answer? And you just feel slimed. And you just feel slimed. Is it a lot of fun? No. And I'm here to tell you that that is not really sales. That is not how you sell something to someone the right way. That's the wrong way. The unfortunate thing is that it causes people to believe you've got to be outgoing and aggressive if you want to be good at sales, because that's what they've experienced. And if you think about it, he probably didn't sell you anything anyway, because you felt uneasy. You walked away feeling kind of annoyed. And I'm here to tell you that you don't have to do that. We're going to talk about how you do it and how you become good at sales without manipulating people. So first, let's talk about a few myths that most people believe about selling. Probably the number one myth, illustrated by this example, is that you've got to convince somebody, that there's techniques and ways to manipulate people so that they give you an order. And really, that does sometimes work. But if you want a happy, satisfied customer, that's the worst thing you can do. That's just opening the door for long-term headaches. Number two is that in sales, you shouldn't take no for an answer. You want to continually go at someone to try to get that yes, even when they're telling you no, even when it doesn't fit for them. And because of myth number one and myth number two, that convincing, that manipulating is how you get the order. So we're not going to do that. Here's what sales is. It's simply a successful conversation. What's a successful conversation? It's a structured, two-way, value-based conversation where both parties see value and feel good about it. So if selling is simply a successful conversation, how do you have a successful conversation? Well, the first step is you have to get permission to start selling. That prospect has to give you permission to start the conversation with them. And the way they do that, the way they give you permission, is through something that we call a buying signal. And a buying signal is simply a response to something you've said to them that causes them to engage with you. The way that you get them to engage with you is you have to present to them the value that you deliver. So it's called selling your value and not your product. And if they hear in your value something that they see valuable, then they'll actually ask you a question about it. And as a result, you're now engaged in a conversation. You have permission to start talking to them. And this concept applies whether you're having a conversation through email or whether you've got a marketing activity going on and you're doing it digitally. It's being able to present your values so that engagement happens. That engagement happens through curiosity. Someone is curious now about how you deliver that value, and they purposely ask you a question about it. And that's what a buying signal is all about. Is through presenting your value, you now get a buying signal, and that is the permission to start the conversation. So as a result, they're the ones that are actually initiating the selling conversation, not you. And when it starts that way, you feel good about it. So I was just trying to think of the right word, but you feel good about it. If you want to know more about creating your value, we've got a video right here, so you can visit that video, and it'll help you understand how to develop that value. But I'm not going to talk about that in this video. Just the fact that you have to present your value, and that's what causes that prospect to engage with you. So let me ask you, have you ever had that used car sales guy experience? If you've had it, what did it feel like? And go ahead and leave comments in the comments section. We'd love to hear your stories, and we'll definitely respond where it makes sense. So what happens next? They ask you a question, and here's the trick so that you're not feeling like you're manipulating them. You have to shut up and listen, okay? Shut up and listen. How many times have you maybe been interested in something and all of a sudden the salesperson just gives you this huge dissertation about all the stuff that they have to sell, and now you've got to figure out what the heck they're talking about? And that happens a lot, where that salesperson comes back at you without understanding what you're looking for, and they just start spewing out all this information about their product. So the key to not manipulating and getting the sale and making it feel good is to shut up and listen and get ready to ask them questions. When they ask you a question, your objective is to ask them questions. And here's one technique that it's a great phrase that I use all the time, and it really opens a lot of doors. And it is, I'm happy to answer that for you, but do you mind if I ask you a couple specifics about your situation first? And I've never had someone say no. It's always been sure, because it makes sense. It says that you're now interested in their situation, because how else can you help them if you don't know anything about what they're trying to accomplish? There's a great statement, I use it all the time, from Stephen Covey called Seek First to Understand, Then to Be Understood. And this really applies to selling in this way, is you really have to understand the situation, and that's your mindset. You're trying to understand their situation first before you start telling them what's going on with you, what your product's all about, and what your solution is. So step one is shut up and listen so that you can understand before you're trying to be understood. The next step, shut up and ask questions. You've first shut up and listen, and now you're listening, and now you're not going to pitch your product, you're going to ask questions, seeking to understand. Those questions are targeted around your value. So based on what they've asked you, you can now start asking questions and you can set it up with that phrase that I just described. So this is the key to selling without manipulating. Present your value, wait for a buying signal that gives you permission, shut up and listen, and ask, can I ask you a couple specifics about your situation first, and then ask them questions. And only then are you ready to actually engage and help them find the solution. And the mindset behind this is really all about, if I can't help you, I will tell you I can't help you. Being willing to walk away and recognizing that there's a world of opportunity out there, and you don't need to close this one to win the day. You need to close the right one that fits. And that's really the key to not manipulating that prospect as you're trying to sell them something. So try it and leave us some comments on how you did. What were the 4 things again? Just to remind you, sell your value, not your product, because that will create buying signals. And the buying signal gives you permission to start selling. Shut up and listen to them. Shut up and start asking questions. If you're struggling with sales and you do have other questions you'd like to ask, you can reach out to me at rob@getmoresales.academy, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. You can also download our ebook. I've attached a link below, 7 Laws That Make Sales Easy. And that will allow you to see how some of these laws apply. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And be sure to check out this video for 4 steps to handling any objections. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.